All right, 1, 2, 3. Did you play tennis up there? No, we have no viewers right now.
Did Mum take the?
It was given to her by Carnegie.
Okay, but he could have at least told me, or at least maybe put my shit back onto the bed at least.
He could have at least done that, but that's your brother.
Yeah, but you're the one. It happened like next to you.
Hello. Okay. Okay. Claire, can you hear me? How does it sound? Can you hear me, Claire? Can you hear me, Claire? Is it popping? Does it sound good? Does it sound clear? That's one of the things I'd like to work on is the delay. Why is there such a delay?
I can't avoid a delay.
At all. Yeah. I can hear you clearly, Lewis. Is this the clearest it's been that you've heard it in a while? Thank you, people, for coming back. I appreciate you coming back. Thank you very much, Colum. Thank you very much, producer. Okay, that was good. The producer came in, had a bit of an attitude. He's been traveling all the way from a place, practically the furthest place you can be in all of this United Kingdom, or was once united, and well, united. So it's as clear as can be. Thank you, Claire. Okay, let's turn on this. There you go. I think that's good. I think we're ready to start. Let's just make sure we get an audience to come back in there. Joe is here. Claire is here. We now have 6 viewers. What do I do? What do I do with the other one? Do I delete it? I guess maybe. Restrictions. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. We're getting a late start. It's been. What's going on there? We can't talk about it. Okay.
Posted on Twitter.
I posted it on Twitter.
Again, the new link.
Oh, the new link. Okay. Copy. Twitter. Post. Oh, look at that. Is it anti the guy?
Probably.
I went to the thing yesterday.
What?
The demonstration.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Was it good?
I mean,
is that why you're bruised up?
No, there wasn't any. There wasn't anything like that.
Oh, no, it's 20 out of 100,000.
It wasn't that 100,000. It was millions. The whole thing went all the way from Blackfriars Bridge to Westminster Bridge.
Yeah, it wasn't millions.
It was millions.
No, it was.
I am telling you, it was millions.
Go look at the footage from the Stop the War Coalition and tell me that is the same as live. Like, it was not millions.
You know what? I'm going to guess it's millions.
I'm going to guess millions.
It's not 110,000 people. It is definitely not 110,000.
That's a lot. That's a huge turnout.
No, it was a huge.
It's a huge turnout for London. Do you think any of these people are coming in from across the
They flew a drone all the way from Westminster Bridge. It was more than 100,000 people. It was more.
Just take the win.
Claire was there, and Leanne was there. Who else was there?
All your groupies.
This is live. This is all my. Are they my groupies? I hope they are. Are you my groupie? Yeah, I hope you're my groupie. I was there, Columbus, and there were millions. It looked You know what it was? Where we were out of the camera. Like when they,
Just take the win.
no, 100,000 isn't a win. And you know how I know there was like a million people there?
100,000 is a big win.
Do you know how I know there was a million people there? Is because I got a phone call, a text message from somebody being really upset at me, at me, at me because I went to the demonstration, and she wouldn't have sent that to me if she didn't feel threatened in some way by the whole demonstration. 100,000. I'm not going to say who. Someone you know, whatever.
Lisa,
No, somebody else.
Angela.
I'd say 300,000 at least. Well, the problem is you can't trust the police. Donna Aylesbury says this. You can't trust the police to give you accurate numbers. The Guardian is going to, they're labor and they're lying. It was huge. Leanne was there with me. Where we were wasn't even in the picture of like when the camera went over, I think it was Stamford Street or whatever street that is, going all the way from the Waterloo Bridge all the way down to Blackfriars
It was
Bridge.
big.
It was huge, but it wasn't 100,000. I've been to a lot of demonstrations. You got to remember this. I used to be
Small demonstration.
no. I've been political. I've been demonstrations in Washington D.C. I've been demonstrating. I know what 100,000 is. At least I think I do. There was way more than that. The MS mainstream media always say there was less. Of course they do because they don't want to admit that that they don't like what's going on. And my friend was so angry at me. She called me the C word for going there. Like these people were national front.
Rose.
I'm not saying. Don't mention any names. Don't mention any names. Don't mention any names. The fact is, Nigel Farage should have been there. Basically,
No.
why shouldn't he have been there? Because he wants
Tommy Robinson's a thug.
He is a thug, but we need a thug.
Yeah,
Thug killed.
Maybe it's okay to have them like around
Yeah.
there, but not to like engage with.
I don't know if he is a thug anyway. They could say that I'm a thug. I punched a guy once. Am I a thug? Anyway, so that's what we're talking about. I would say, based on the video that I had and looked at the video that I had, I would think that 100,000 is super low. And I would say a million might even be low too. It was just so huge. And it went all the way to all the way. When we got it, we were right. Yeah, that's what my son says. He says, Tommy's a thug. Tommy's a thug. We need a thug. We need somebody. I mean, look at what those thugs did to Charlie Kirk. Look what they did. Okay. I mean, we need a hero right now, an absolute hero. And I think Tommy Robinson is the only hero we have until somebody else, joins in the fray. And he's a young guy, so of course I couldn't call him a thug because it's totally against the working class. That's what the whole war is. It's against the working class people. Am I right? Not, and Donna says Rupert Lowe. No, Rupert Lowe is too old. We need somebody who's young and a thug. And I'm not even sure Tommy Robinson is a thug. I'm not sure. I know he organized this thing. Over a million people turned out. He has troops. People really love Tommy Robinson. Are you going to hate me because I'm not saying something bad about Tommy Robinson? I mean, the thing that I could say about Tommy Robinson is he called us a free speech march, for political reasons, but it wasn't a free speech march. It was a fight for protecting Britain. It's about loving this country, Columbus. Do you love this country? He's not going to answer me.
Yeah, I do.
Do we know why Nigel Farage didn't go? Yeah, he didn't go because he doesn't want to be associated with Tommy Robinson, because Tommy Robinson has been declared a persona non grata in this country. So because he's not liked by the BBC, by the mainstream media, by Ofcom, because he's not liked, is like he's thinking, oh, I'm going to be a nice guy and I'm going to get elected. We don't need a nice guy, people. We don't need a nice guy. Rupert has the perfect attitude. He's the only one who is still trying to get justice for the R gang survivors. You know what? The R gang survivors, the this isn't about our ganging. This is about the country being basically what the whole what the story is today is they want us to feel afraid. That's what the left want. They want us to panic. To panic about whether it's COVID, climate change, whether it's mass immigration coming into this country and we can do nothing about it. They want you to feel impotent. And this is, you know, what was great about it is the people didn't feel impotent. And these are not my people. They're my people, kind of, but they're not my people. They're working class people, and I'm so much better than all of them. Your son is a typical woke, well spoken, just like all left public school types. He's rude too. Did you hear that? He's in the other room. I'll have to read it to him again, Tars. Yeah, he's rude. Is he rude? And it's like the girl who called me to call me a CUNT because and said if my father were alive today, he would not be happy with you, Lewis. And you know, yeah, maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't be. But you know, the truth is this country is going to get nowhere with the goldsmiths, uni educated people, and what they've been told, the lies. I've followed Tommy for years, and my friend Tony works for him. Claire, well, that doesn't mean you know anything. You like me too, and you don't know anything about me. I don't trust any of them. Rupert seems genuine, though, unlike the rest. Well, we need we need one thing about Tommy Robinson, you feel he's like basically holding something back. He's not letting people know his true feelings. Maybe we need a true feeling. How does that look? Maybe we need some with true feelings to say this country needs a hero. And I think Tommy Robinson is fighting for this country. The shocking thing is, I said this yesterday, and I'll say this every single time, is that is all the police have beards. Why do all the police have beards? That's a really good question. Let's see if how this works. Why do they all have beards? Why do the police have beards? Suddenly they have beards, but everybody there, 99. I'm talking about the guys, and 99% of the people don't have beards. You know. Are we back? We're back, Maltese Phil. Thanks for coming. We're up to 27 viewers, which is brilliant. The mainstream media's really hate him, and ever since the EDL have made him the bad guy. You know what's you know this isn't a race issue. This isn't a race issue. This is a fact that the people of this country have not been given a say. Can we check to make sure this thing is monetized? Producer, how would we do that?
To go and click the button.
I couldn't find the button. I don't know what.
Then do it later.
Maybe they're not letting me monetize it. Could that be it? You get paranoid. Why have all our names gone gray again? That's a really good question. Maybe I'm not being monetized. Maybe someone's made a complaint against me. That could be what it is.
No.
Because we've all
No.
lost the color here.
No.
Well, what do you think it could be then?
You've lost the color because you restarted the stream, so no one stopped chatter in that stream.
Well, shouldn't they be some of the people in the same stream? If you don't know, you don't know. We're learning this ourselves, Columbus. Not sure about Tommy. I went to the protest at the start of the year, protecting the children. It turned into a Get Tommy Out march. If his lawyers were so good, why was he locked up? Because I think every protest leader is locked up. They're going to come and lock me up. Tommy is a Jewish puppet. He's only pocketing the shekels, and the people are falling for it. What does that mean? What do you mean shekels? I'm a Jew. Remember this, I'm a Jew. What will be his next plea for money? He doesn't care about the English people at all. Maybe he doesn't care, but maybe somebody. Are you going to care, Stuart? You've done F all. Have you done F all? Have you done F all? This is brilliant. I've got no stars near this. No one's. Does anybody understand this? Joe says we would be locked up with you as we are the cult. Thank you, Joe. Joe's in the cult. Okay, and yeah, he's under attack. Tommy is he a great guy? I don't like. That's what the protest was. They were like just bog standard English people, and the elite hate bog standard English people. They think they're better than bog standard English people. They feel horrible. They feel horrible. Let me see what I've got here. What I've got here. Um, yeah. Can we maybe find out about this? Maybe one of you people want to find out. How do you get demonetized? Is am I demonetized? Oh, yeah, Ruben, can we not talk to each other that way? Please, let's be nice to people. Ruben, don't bring yourself down to that level. Let's be nice to people. Okay. Anyway, we can discuss Maltese Phil sleepover. Right now, we're discussing the march. We'll discuss other things. Okay. The law doesn't look after any of us, says Keith Cup. Decent lawyers would have gotten out, or at least out of solitary. Yeah. I mean, why is he in prison? It's like saying, is he in prison because he's a criminal, or is he in prison because the state is criminal? Who knows what the reason is? Who knows what the reason is? I mean, he's basically, by doing that film, by being a journalist, is trying to highlight one bad thing about those people in those towns. But that is not the bad thing. The bad thing about it is that people in this country are not being paid attention to. That they're just letting in people in, and then they're being lied to. They're saying, "Oh, we're trying to stop the boats. We can't stop the boats. We're trying to stop the boats." But they could stop the boats, but they're not. And they're saying, "Oh, it's Keir Starmer." As if Keir Starmer, he's just the facade. He's the facade. It was a lovely. Keith Bexley is here. It was a lovely time. I've been watching a long YouTube video by Despot of Antrim about British. Was that related to this thing? We've been lied to. People are lied to. The whole country. You've got the BBC. They are liars. And you're paying for the BBC. They are liars. You watch all the newspapers. They are liars. Okay? But I'm afraid to tell the truth. Or at least what I think is the truth. Yeah, I'm afraid of this thing. The truth that I see it is this: is there were 1 million people there, and then they say there's 100,000. I don't know if there was 1 million, but it wasn't 100,000. Okay, because the people went all the way through two bridges, jam packed through two bridges, and then maybe they're saying there was violence. I didn't see any violence at all. And then they cut people from getting too close to the screens. They couldn't hear what he was saying. So there's lots of different horrible stuff going on. There's lots of different stuff, horrible stuff going on. Let me see what we've got here. YouTube. I'm gonna see if I can delete something. Should I delete something? And then people are beginning to know who he is. Who he is. They're beginning to know who Charlie Kirk is too. And Charlie Kirk is a lovely guy. And all those people so happy that Charlie Kirk is dead. So happy. It's horrific. It's horrific. We can hear you. Okay, it sounds fine. I think I cannot be I cannot be monetized. If that is the truth, then I mean it's to be expected. It's absolutely to be expected that I cannot be monetized. Because somebody maybe made a complaint against me and say that guy shouldn't be monetized because this is the time we're in. And how much money was I making? £35 a month? It was absolutely nothing. Your videos. Okay, maybe it's my videos. Live. Okay, I'm looking here. Restrictions. They took the monetization out. Producer, they took the monetization out. I'm glad you weren't here, Columbus, because it meant I couldn't ask you questions. Monitor. Okay, on a YouTube channel. Okay, I'm looking at this thing. It says there's 1,000 subscribers, which I have. Okay, once accepted. Oh, you know what? Maybe I don't know what it is. Once accepted, you earn money through various YouTube Premium revenue channel memberships. Monetize your channel faster. Any ideas about this, Columbus? I know you're a bit busy, but it's quite irritating. There isn't the mark to say click this if you want to be monetized. Earn. Review-based scheme set up in AdSense. Fix get reviewed. I've been reviewed. I've been reviewed. Watch videos. Do you have any idea how to do this, Columbus? Or should I? Sorry, but do you have any ideas how I should do this?
Do what?
Is check why I'm not being monetized.
You need to.
I was
Hello?
monetized. I can't find where it is. Where it's been is not there. Remember,
You're not being. You need to wait for the thing to end, and then you can turn it on.
so I can't do it beforehand. I used to be able to do it beforehand.
Well, maybe you can somewhere. I don't know. Maybe it's smooth. We'll look at it after.
Okay, that's all you needed to tell me. We'll look at it after. Okay, Claire. Stuart, I won't argue with you. I support Tommy in all these videos of when he was on coke or old. We can disagree like everyone here. Anyone who knows me knows I support him massively. Well, it's like Martin Luther King, what they said about him. Yeah, he was doing good. Whatever he was doing, they'll always find something to dislike about him. Something to dislike about him. Okay? The false representations of the British population and relationships, Keith. That's exactly what they're doing. They hate the British people. They hate the old British people. They want new British people. They want a new country. They want a new country filled with new people. What is that term? They want replacement. I mean, what else could it be? They want people replaced. And they want it replaced. And what's going to happen is it's like what's happened in America is like the aspects of the state were turned off, were taken over, were co-opted. They were, what's the word? They were not co-opted. Um, they were they were taken over by the left. The left. And what is the left? These are left issues. Globalists are left, letting in 1 billion people, saying we're not good enough. This is not our country. We're not allowed to have a lock on our door. We cannot have a gun in our hand. These are all people are being replaced. Sounds like an invasion of the body snatchers. Well, that's what it is. That's what it is. 100,000 people coming in by boats. Well, if you have 100,000 people coming in by boats and they're all allowed to bring in 10 people, that's 1 million people just by the boats. The boats. And we know the country is changing. The country is changing. I mean, what can I say about it? Is it my place to say this about it? No. Anyway, so that's what the problem with the country is. And here's 1 million or 2 million people. 1 million or 2 million people. And is the big government? Are they listening to people? Does Keir Starmer care? No, he's going to get massive money from the World Economic Forum. He's going to get massive. Do you know the story that I tell? Do you know the story? I don't know. There's no. I got nothing here. I got people who used to contribute money, and they're not contributing money now. It's been demonetized. Maybe you could check and see if you're still monetized. I think I had a lot of people who were monetized, and now they're not. Nigel highlighted the EU issues. Good job. Tommy highlighted the R gang issues. Great. But neither would make a good PM, Donna says. We don't know that. We don't know who would make a good PM. You don't know that. I mean, the political system here is just. Yes, Keir Starmer was a WF young leader back in the day, says Claire. Yes, he was. He went to a communist work camp when he was a kid. He did things like that. And so So here's the story. I've told this so many times about the sales. It's a sales story said by Zig Ziglar. He's the guy goes into a sales shop, a sales a sales thing, and he says, "Go across the street. There are two shops there. Go to the shop on the left. The shop on the left, the guy always buys from us, but he's really hard to deal with. He's really hard to deal with. Okay? But all you've got to do is listen to him. And he'll scream. He'll tell you why he would never buy from the Worldwide Widget Company. He would never buy from them. He would never want our widgets. All you've got to do is sit there and smile at him and listen to him and listen to him. And then at the end of an hour, say, say I'll put you down for 1,000 widgets. That's all you've got to do. So this young salesman goes across the street and he forgets whether it should be the left hand shop or the right hand shop, left hand or right hand. So instead, he goes into the right hand shop, and the guy screams at him, "I'm never going to buy from your company. I've never bought from your company. I will never buy from your company. It's a rotten company." And after an hour, the new salesman goes, "I'll put you down for 1,000 widgets." And the man says, "Fine." And so he sold 1,000 widgets to the shop, and when he got back to the office, the people were amazed because they said, "That's amazing because the shop on the right never buys widgets from us." And what did he do differently? He was sent to do a job, and that's what Keir Starmer is doing. Sent to do a job. Sent to sit there and to just the people are going to scream at you. Let them scream at you. We will win. And that's what the left is all about. Let them scream at us. Let them scream at us. I didn't find any vapes yesterday. Let them scream. And that's what Keir Starmer's doing. He's he's saying, "Oh, I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. We're doing our best. We're doing this. We're doing that." And people, that's all he has to do. That is all Keir Starmer has to do. Charlie Kirk was very likely murdered by a terror cell. I've heard about the trans connection. I mean, they're 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 on drugs. The trans people. Maybe I can't. Maybe I've been banned. I've been banned, but I can't help myself. People, they don't like me. Am I supposed to be like, nah, I can't talk about this because they're gonna cut the money. They're gonna cut my money. They're gonna cut the money. No, you've got to be able to talk about this. Rupert Lowe is the answer. No, Lewis, he isn't too old. At Trump's age, you got to remember that Trump was basically the first person to talk like Trump. So yeah, maybe you're right. But does Rupert Lowe have the love that Donald Trump has? And Trump's been around for 8 years, and he's becoming more and more. I mean, he's 79 now, so he was like 72 then. I had a cereal bar. I found a cereal bar. You found a cereal bar. I found a cereal bar, and I ate it. And then I went back home, and I just was bad. He needs a decent Vans to back him. Yeah, and the thing about America now is there are people who are like Donald Trump, who could replace Donald Trump. And J.D. Vance is one of those people. Starmer is only looking after himself. No, well, in a way, we all are. He actually believes all this stuff. You cannot, Lorna, we can't focus on Keir Starmer. He is not important. If he isn't there, they'll put Lammy in. They'll hate Lammy. They'll hate Rachel Reeves. They'll put somebody in to take his place. This revolution against Britain by the globalist is not being led by Starmer. He's just the guy out in front. It was one of those rice cereal bars with nuts, rice and nuts. I don't know what it was, but it was wrong for me to eat it. I'm addicted to food. And I was with Claire and Leanne and beautiful girls. It's so hard to say no to food, especially for me. It's an eat natural ones. Yeah, Yeah, it was. I like to eat natural ones. It was delicious. Yeah, but they ain't good for you. No, nuts are not good for you. It's like a lie. It's like a lie. Starmer isn't leading. He's being told what to do. You have to believe that he's being told what to do. Hey, Daz, you missed everything, but it's all right. Um, we have no monetization anymore, and I don't know why. And maybe Columbus can figure it out if he's got a minute. But we'll have to figure that out. Call me a conspiracy theorist, Donna says, but I'd say Charlie Kirk is still alive and well, you are. He got shot in the neck. I mean, the point is that the guy went up on the roof. The gun was probably up on the roof. The gun was up on the roof. The guy's roommate was a trans man, or was a trans woman or a trans man. You know, and maybe he was on steroids. And it's not nice. Like today, I was told I was a bad thing. I was a bad thing for going to this demonstration. I mean, you people are not my people, but I stand with you people. That's the difference. I'm against I'm against people's rights being taken away from them. I'm a nationalist. You know, I hate people. I hate being lied to. I was lied to by my mother, and I don't like it. Lewis, how did you get on at the rally? I was there passing through. I mean, I thought it was really nice. Enough people recognized me. Enough people looked at me but didn't say anything, and enough people said thank you. We love you, Lewis. You're my favorite. It was enough. I don't like too many people saying that. I thought the girls, Claire, were you impressed with people saying that they liked me? Did you like that? That's what I like. I want the girls to like me. So that's how I answered. It was They were very nice people. I met a guy there. He was very slender, and his beautiful wife, slender, and you know, it's a class war. Who are the people who support the left with their dyed hair? And they're really out of shape. That's why I'm always harping to you about being fat. You're not bad, Lewis. Why can't these lefties just agree to disagree? Because their whole philosophy, and I sent you a video, and we should look at this video. It's by What If All Fist. What If All Fist? Okay, I love that people wanted selfies with you, Lewis. It was really nice. It was really nice. GB News has done me a good job. Anyway, so I'm not complaining about not being on GB News. I'm not. Lorna says we love you tons. And that's what this thing is all about, to make what if all history. I think it's a combination of what if. What if this happened, and an alternate view of history. And I like this guy. He's really young. He's like 24 years old, which is the same age as my son. And he's real. Have you ever watched those videos, producer?
Hmm?
Have you ever watched the What If Alt Hist?
Yeah, he's gone off the deep end. He went crazy like years ago, like 2 years ago.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
become very right wing, would you
No,
say?
no, like he's gone crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, like he
Okay.
had a mental breakdown.
Well, that's what these things can do. There's a lot of pressure when you're getting
His videos used to be good, but then it's like well known. It doesn't
Wow.
it doesn't matter.
What if alt hist is quite literally insane, says Lucy. Thank you very much, Lucy. Um, what you could do, you could see if you can join. Can you, if you want to help me out, everybody out there, and you're not a previous member, or even if you have joined in the past, see if you can join. It's 2.9, it's £2 £2.99, and we could see if I've been demonetized. I could believe it. I could believe it, because someone could say what I'm saying is hate filled, but I don't think this is hate filled. I've seen pictures of Storm with Jimmy Savile as a child. Uh, what's that tell you? What's that tell you? Yeah, I mean, you got to meet famous people. There are people taking pictures of me, and they're going, "Oh, Lewis Schaffer." I saw a picture of him and Lewis Schaffer. That's how they. That's what they do. I don't know if that's true. And look what happened to Mendelssohn. I actually saw him in a club, in a shop. Mendelssohn. What counter protest? Why counter protest a march for free speech? Because it wasn't about free speech. It is slightly about free speech, but basically it's we're fighting for Britain. I paid £5 for a pic with Lewis Schaffer. Yeah, well, yeah. If you saw me in person, I'd take a free pic. a pick for free. You wouldn't even have to give me a free pick. But I'd like you more. I see. I don't know who's joined. Can you see who's joined? Anybody? Can you subscribe? I don't know what's happened. Don't forget to look at the nude photo of Lewis I've posted on Discord. Okay, I'd like to see that myself. I'm looking pretty good. I'm looking pretty good nude. I'd like to be known as a good looking nude guy. Look it up. Savile had his arms around him. Starmer was no more than 10. Well, that doesn't say anything about Starmer. It says a lot more about Jimmy Savile because because Jimmy Savile like 10-year-olds, even if they, weren't whatever they were. Um, we can do a threesome. What is a threesome? Claire, exactly. The word patriot will be removed from the dictionary and replaced with that. What is the word, Claire? Because thicko lefties think loving your country is waste. Yes, yeah. They want to remove all the flags. That's why I've added a couple of flags there. Can you see? Can you see the flag that I've got? I've got the England flag to let you know what team I support. And then the king. The king is the king on our team. Is it a horrible thing to say? You want the king to be on our team, but he's not on our team. I guess who knows what the story is. Are we conspiracy theorists for thinking that maybe he was taken into a room? Do you remember? I forgot the name of the movie. Anyway, Donna, birds of a feather flock together. Um, I as Gipping. 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 Okay. I as Gipping. Okay, there you go. Okay. Anyway, you were popular, Lewis, says Leanne. It was so nice seeing people happy meeting you. It is really nice. It's also, you know, I'm taking a chance by talking like this. I'm taking a chance. This, you may not be the winning side. We hope so. £2.50 with Warmellian and Phil on Lewis's right, Lewis's left. That's an easy £5, Lewis. Yes, let's get together. But I mean, I would prefer it if we found out what's the matter here because it's really disconcerting. Lewis made people smile as he makes us smile. Thank you, Claire. That's what I'm trying to do. I forget that I'm a comedian. I don't want to be political, but when someone you like calls you up and calls you a CUNT and says her father's not going to like you anymore. Starmer and Angela met up with Bill Gates recently and published the pictures. I wouldn't have done that given the rumors about Bill. Yeah, but he's so powerful, you got to take a picture with him. I mean, I saw him speak in public at a small computer shop on the corner of 14th Street, or maybe it was 15th Street, and Fifth Avenue, back in the day, years and years ago. The king didn't like Savile. Is that true? I thought it was the other way around, Lorna, that the king didn't like Savile. I am Gipping. Typo. What is Gipping? I am Gipping. What does that mean, Lorna? I don't know what that means. What language is that? I am Gipping. I am Gipping. What is, there's thousands of photos of me. Yes. That was Gates doing what was Gates doing in Downey Street? Because he's got so much money. I have so much money. Anyway, that's because he was sent a letter in the 70s asking to be king in his 40s, Lorna. Who sent the letter? He sent a letter in the 70s. Who is that? Who sent a letter in the 70s? Steve Cuff. It's hard to follow this. It's hard to follow what you people are talking about. Okay. So, we did yesterday, and I mentioned this before. We spoke more in depth about one particular problem, like ask Lewis, but also ask each and every one of us, that kind of thing. Okay? What problems we have. I'm going to take a break. Not a break, but how does the sound? How does the picture look? Oh, I see. It was a Jimmy Fix It. Okay. It's a Jimmy Fix It. So he called it Jimmy Fix It and said, I'd like to be king. Who asked this? Did Bill Gates ask this? Or did the king want to be, he wanted to be king? No one in the media has questioned Starmer meeting Gates, but of course, the media questioned Prince Andrew meeting Gates. Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a question. Nick Dixon, Leo Kurz, Konstantin Kisin, and Andrew Doyle, all comedians, all political. Besides, the left wing comedians were always political, Lewis. Remember Joe Brand and the horrible what? And what is the horrible? What is the horrible? You look and sound perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you very much. I look and sound perfect, says Leanne. Thank you very, very much. Stuff she said about assaulting Farage. Where did this come from? Who are you talking about? Sound is faint but doable. Why is the sound faint but doable? Okay. How does that sound? Is that a bit? Carol Vorneman needs her nails clipping. Okay, we're not going there. According to Jim Davidson, what? I can't follow what you people are doing, and now I'm getting distressed. According to Jim Davidson, Lorna says, what? What? What are we talking about? You've got to. You can't just write this because I have to read it. You want it read, and I have to know what I'm reading. Lewis is always great to look at. Thank you, Claire. I weigh 77.8 kilograms. And then today I went out and I had about 800 grams. I had two slices of bread, two slices of white bread. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Gipping means bilious. What does bilious mean? That's another word I've never used. Bilious. Bilious. Is it bilious or bilious? Am I going to have to look at my machine? I'm looking what bilious means. Nauseous or vomiting. Gipping. Okay, so you're saying it makes you vomit. It can be described as something related to or resembling bile, such as the sickly or nauseating green color, bilious. Donna comes in there and says Gates could take all his jabs and eat all his lab grown meat while being rained on with his chemtrail rain. Yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's got a million houses. He'll go someplace where it's all right. He's got a. That's the thing about the rich people is so rich. Never in the history of the world the things are people so rich. Now Lewis Schaffer's even 38 pounds a month. I'm not going to be making. So if you want, maybe if you want to do me a favor, if you're banned from here, I'm on Patreon and I'm on PayPal. PayPal. Joe Brand. I know Joe Brand. She was nice to me. Joe Brand joked about throwing battery acid over Nigel Farage quite a few years ago, Lewis. Comedy tends to be political one way or the other. Well, everything tends to be political. If you're not talking politics, you're being political. That's a good point. I mean, was she put in jail? No. It's a horrible thing to say to somebody. Horrible thing. I didn't see the message, Steve. I didn't see the message, Steve Cuff. Oh, I'm so sorry. I would have met you. I said where we were, and then I don't know. I can't be organized these things. I need someone. I need help. I need help. Gates's wife changed a lot a few years back, says Donna. What does that mean? How did she change? What is this in reference to? Dullahan says, just got here, Lewis. You don't have to stream every day. It can be taxing, a few days a week, but a regular routine. I know I can do whatever I want to do. I do this for me. Today is a rough day. Sundays are rough days, but I like to feel like I'm busy. Maybe Sunday might not be the best day to do it. We get a lot of viewers on Sunday, and maybe I mean, I don't know. I find it soothing. I find it soothing. Basically, Daz comes in. So many people yesterday. I was quite surprised. I didn't feel dangerous and far right at all. Well, what does far right mean? We're not far right. We're fighting for the nation. We're fighting for children, for our families, for our husbands, for ourselves, for our towns. We're fighting for who we are. We're fighting for Britain. I'm fighting for Britain and America. I'm fighting for the Jews. We don't want to be killed. We want to be protected. We want to have a future. We don't want to be told what to do. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Okay, Leanne, sorry, not been on Discord, says Steve, and had to put off the London trip in the end. Next time. Okay, we'll see you next time. Two people turned up, Leanne and Claire. Next time, three people. Joe Brand loves carbs. Laugh out loud. Yeah, that's why we can't love, but we have to, how, are you tall? What's your height? You know, it would be more taxing on Lewis not to stream every day, Dolian says Warmelli. Probably you're right, because it'd be like 5 o'clock, and I'm thinking, what am I doing with my day? I'm doing nothing. I'm doing nothing. I like streaming. I like talking to you people. I wish I could see your faces. It's like when I did a comedy show in New York. Instead of doing in New York too, I did it 6 days a week. I know I say that I'm unindustrious, which I'm just not. I'm not productive. It's not enough to push the mountain. The mountain has to move. But this is good for me. It's good for me. But Dullahan, thank you very much. And Lorna loves this chat. It's something to do. You don't have to come every day. Not everybody is here every day. Not everybody is commenting every day. So you don't have to come every day. We did have a really great time. We did have a great time. I thank you very much, Keith. Claire and Leanne, we had a really good time. We had a good time. Very, pretty girls. Lewis, not gay. I like pretty girls, and these are pretty girls. And we could all be pretty if we all stop the carbs, including me. I I had about I have too many carbs today. I'm a bad, bad, bad boy. There was no such thing as far right. It's just a lefty slur. Yeah, so yeah, we're far right because there is no middle right. There is no right. If you're even just there, that's a good point, Lud. Even if you're there, that's how they try to do it. And these people, the left, it's really tragic. They're so violent. They're so drugged out. They're so, they're screaming. I mean, and I grew up as part of the left. I was a member of the left. My family we voted Democrat. I was a communist at uni. I apologize for that. I apologize for that. And I woke up one day and I thought maybe this communism isn't the right thing. How many people have died under communism? How many have died? Look at the lying. Slur Campbell had to apologize for. Lefty twat. Who is Slur Campbell? I shouldn't have put far right in quotation marks. Haha. You should have. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Daz. You should have put it in. Because that's what they say. But you know what? If they call us this, yeah, I'm far right. I'm far right. The problem is when people say, when the real losers are the left wing people who say, oh, I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. Or maybe they're really right wing. If one is middle, they're likely middle left too. They're ambidextrous. Yeah, they're like I just said that. That's a good point. Yeah, Lewis, can you prove you are not on the left? Well, no, but I mean, you've heard what I've said. What have I said? Have I said anything that's like left wing? I'm turning left wing in every single aspect because I support the family, the children, the city, the state, the country. I support Britain. I support Jews. I support the nation state of America. Okay? I'm against COVID. I'm against germs. I'm against vaccines. I'm against Bill Gates. So that's what I believe. We forgive you, Lewis, says Warmelian. We were all liberals at one time. If you were born in after the 1950s, yeah, they totally brainwashed us. Completely Warmelian, they brainwashed us. So Kate Quinn is here. Hello, Kate. Good to see you. Thank you. We got off to a rough stop again. How is the sound, everybody? Can we have teamwork? Can we have a team world rant? Well, I think I just maybe gave it. I mean, I'm just telling you what I believe in. Ask me a question. I'll tell you what side, if you're team world, what side you should be on. Not should be on. Do you support the Judean People's Front? Yes. I support the Jews. I'm sorry. I support the Jews. Are the Jews the best people on earth? Maybe. But are the Jews the worst? No, maybe. I don't know. Hi, everyone. Susan Stevenson is here. And Daryl M is here. Okay. So Susan asks, hi, everyone. I've been on holiday. News update, Pete. The sound, we had to turn the show off for a little bit while the producer is back in town. I was so happy to see him. I didn't even get a hug from him because I was. Did you want to give me a hug? I want to give you a hug. Can I give you a hug? Leave him alone. He's in a very grumpy mood. Where does he get the grumpiness from? Welcome back. Hi, Susan. Oh, Joe is saying that to Susan. What about the People's Front? That's an interesting point. It's like at some point you've got to say, you know what, I don't agree with everything that they say, but I do, I do, but we got to stick together. We got to agree with the main things, you know. I used to have a joke about that I thought was really funny. I used to say, your political party doesn't believe everything that you believe in, but you got to pick the biggest issues and disregard the small ones. Like my biggest issue is like I like the Taliban. I support. I'm not in favor of their position on Israel, but I'm in favor of their position on women. Okay. Do you think the Jewish lobby, Friends for Israel, is good for British democracy? Yes, because Israel is good for British democracy. We believe in democracy. So I would say, yes, it is more better than worse. But what about and they're fighting against, and not our old. A lot of Jews are on the left. They're not good. So I think I would say generally speaking, yes. Generally speaking, yes. Hi everyone, I've missed you. Hope Lewis had good results from his test. I did. I went to the doctor, and they took a scan. Did I tell you this, producer? They took a scan of my stomach, and there was a bit of blood. They found a bit of blood in my poo, supposedly. Okay, and and um, and they tested my stomach. They did a CT scan on my stomach, and they found nothing wrong. So that's really good. So all the tests that I've had, I've found nothing wrong. But I'm going to be tested with my in about a month. I'm going to have my kidneys tested again. So there you go. I was only found out I was far right when Keir told me I was FF's sake. Yes, you don't think you are. You're just thinking I want someone to ask me my opinion. You don't even know what your opinion is. And that's what was great about the march. You just saw people, you could tell they weren't always this way. And so my friend said that I was supporting the National Front, like I was some kind of, whatever, Nazi. And that didn't, I mean, what can you do? As they seem to try to influence labor and conservatives, maybe, yeah, they're trying to influence everybody because Israel, how many people does Israel have? How many people does Israel have? It has like 9 million people, 8 million people. How many Jews are there in the world? 15 million. 15 million. But if you don't support Israel, you don't have to. You don't have to. But at the same time, Israel is a friend of Great Britain. Is a friend. We, you know, look at Iran. Is Iran a friend of Great Britain? Look at what Iran has been doing around the world. Did 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 Britain fight back against Iran? I'm not so sure. I'm quite happy to be called far right, says Daz. It doesn't exactly bother me. It's pretty much lost its meaning anyway. Yes, far right. We're not far right. We're team Britain people. We're nationalists, which has a bad name, like that, whatever. I don't know. Let's come up with a better name. What better name can we come up with? If someone resorts to name calling, it just shows they have no argument. That's completely true. We got 40 people in the chat. That's really true. Says Steve Cuff. That's brilliant. Push the like button. That's right. Push the like button. Push the um push the subscribe button if it's there, and push the join button and see if it lets you join. How about that? Just see if is there a. I'm asking you people to answer my question. Is there a join button there? Is there a join button there? If Starmer's wife is Jewish and his children are brought up Jewish, where does Starmer fit into that? It's a bit strange. Well, at the end of the day, he probably doesn't care about his own kids. You know what I mean? He doesn't care. The reason I'm fighting this fight is because I care about my kids. They're English kids. They're not American kids. Are you American? No, they're not American kids. You know, and I think this. I don't know. I don't know what it is. There's like there's like normal people, the radio rental lefty lunatics, and there's who are you talking about, John Van Dam? Can you write that again, Lewis? I just heard that lefties might be banned from traveling on airplanes because they always wanted to attack and destroy the right wing. That's a joke. Okay, that's a joke. I've joined but can't see the like button. Okay. You actually join. Okay. Did you join at £2.99? Which would be a brilliant thing, which I really would appreciate. Because I think I've been demonetized. Anyway, we're not talking about that yet. We're just finding out if I've been demonetized. The left has developed a master class at name calling, exactly. Because they don't think other people are humans. They put a label on you. Like me, I'm a Nazi. I'm a I'm a Nazi. Labeling what they see as an enemy is the only thing they have got. That's so true. They rather call you names than debate you. Their arguments are weak, Ludd says. This is so true. The left, that is true. And if you don't agree with them, they think I used to think this way. When I was young, I remember traveling in Europe, and people were telling me about the prime minister, whatever it is, the leader of of Bavaria. This guy Strauss. Is any of you old enough to remember who he was? Supposedly, he was a fascist. He was probably just a bog standard conservative person. And they said we need to kill him. I grew up thinking that. The question was always we should have killed Hitler. Why didn't we kill Hitler? And I remember. I have to apologize, but when I remember when George Wallace was shot. Do you know who George Wallace was? He was from uh, Alabama. He was the governor of Alabama, and he was running for president. And he was fighting for Alabama, and he basically was fighting for an old. I don't think he was particularly right, but they shot him, and I was like so happy that they shot him, but I was disappointed that they didn't kill him. They did not kill him, and that's the time we're in. We're in a state of war right now, and I told everybody we were. When did I mention we were in a state of war back in the day? 2, 3 years ago on TV, I said we're in a state of war, and people laughed at me. They thought I was really funny. These radical lefties are the result of the modern education system. The way that, yes, that's true, Donna, but it's even worse than that because everything we see. I was in a movie that showed how bad COVID was in a hospital, and oh my God, COVID, COVID, COVID. And that's a movie. So it's not just the educational system. And this is what they believe. This is what they believe, you know. And the fact is that also because children have been removed from their fathers, there are no fathers. So women as a rule, and I'm not saying all women are bad because you ladies are amazing, but there's lots of left ladies who are in a group with other left ladies, and they all think in the exact same way. They all think in this hive man. What is it called? They're all in the same silo. They and also women as a group. I shouldn't talk about this because it makes it seem like I'm bad mouthing women. But women, as a group, they want to be. They what do women want? They're not they're not all risk takers. Now, Joodles isn't here watching this, okay? But they're all so so like what I said, and I know Lucy got really upset at me for saying this, and maybe you shouldn't listen to me for saying this, but we I shouldn't even say it because I'll be interpreted as saying I'm anti-women. But women generally want protection, they want provision, and where does protection and provision come from? From the state, from the state, and I'm against the state. I'm in favor of people like back in the day before this big government came out in the 1950s. Men used to make enough money and women used to stay home. Oh, listen to the rain. Is that the rain? Is that the rain? So, I mean, is that right of me to say? Do you take offense at what I'm saying? Yes or no? Do you take offense? Um, I mean, that's what I believe. Blair famously said, "Education, education, education." I mean, what he meant was indoctrination, indoctrination, indoctrination. Ludd says, "Yes, that's very true. That's very true." And this person who criticized me was a real believer in Blair. Loved Tony Blair. Loved Tony Blair. And I think Tony Blair is like a smart version of Keir Starmer. Back then, they had to have smarter people because they hadn't had total control. Too, is it too quiet? I've asked if it's quiet. It's not too quiet, Daddy Bannister. Because if people don't tell me, it's fine. Anyway, you can't turn it up for us communists. Is Laos still a communist country? I bet it's still and what does that mean? Is it a successful communist country? Yellow warning for wind tonight. I love weather. The problem with the weather in this country is there isn't. We could talk about the weather. There is not much weather. I don't want to discuss that with you, Lucy. You are free to say what you like, Lewis. I'm free to say, but then they demonetize me. So there you go. Lewis's hope of making a living is down, is out, is out. So yeah, they won't let me collect money in any way, and I'm going bankrupt. I'm going bankrupt. I blame the Tony Blair. I blame that Tony Blair, says Donna. It was all really went bad from 1997 and his fixation on sending 50% kids to university. Only 10% need to go. Yeah, that's true. But it wasn't Tony Blair. This thing was happening from Windrush and way before Windrush. It's been happening. It's when the council started to build houses, council houses. Thank you for asking the question, Lucy. I've never seen Yellow Wind. Under this government, I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, Steve Cuff says. That's funny. We need manual labor now, not office people, which will be replaced by AI. Yeah, but you know what'll happen? I remember when I first went. I went to Australia and I saw white people doing manual labor, and they were paid a decent wage. The manual laborers. And then what happened? What happened? They start importing millions of people, and the manual laborers are suddenly get paid next to nothing. So who wants to be a manual laborer? And manual labor isn't manual anymore. You need degrees in this stuff. Yeah, yeah. So that's what Donna says. We might be replaced by AI. Maybe there are too many people. Maybe this is what they want to do. That's why they want to. That's why they're cutting back on the population growth. Yeah. So you can't stop change, and there's always going to be painful change. But this change is bad change. Bad, bad, bad change here. We need builders, plumbers, roofers, road workers, not DEI wankers. Yeah. And so I was this the guy who they said was crazy, the what if all fist. and I'll have to watch him to check. He doesn't seem crazy to me. But he said that the DEI jobs are there to give these university people a high paid job and to make them seem like they haven't wasted their money and to pay back the money that they borrowed. So the government makes up jobs. Blair and Lord Alley have their hands up. Starmer's arse. He is nothing but a left-wing glove puppet. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the fact is, you don't need anybody running the government anymore. There are so many people believe in the left-wing thing that you don't need a glove puppet. You just let them get on with it. Let the left do what they're doing, and that's what they're saying. There's nobody in control of the left. So nobody's been appointed. A bricklayer can earn as much as a barrister. Could be, yeah. Says Donna. We are short of people. We were short of people. We were not short of people after the war. That is a lie. Only we weren't short of people after the war. Is we weren't short, but they didn't want to. Did I not send you a video? I don't remember if I saw the video. I didn't see that. Would you please send it to me again? Lucy, no hard feelings. Don't get upset at me. I'm very disorganized. I didn't do it deliberately. Okay? I did not see it deliberately. But it's like saying we need to build housing in this country. We don't need to build housing. We got enough housing. We don't need to let 1 million people into the country and then say we need to build housing. It's always good to listen to other people's opinions, Steve Cuff says. I offer opinions, but never force an opinion. Well, if you don't agree with them, they get very, very angry. Well, I don't get angry if people don't agree with me. I just think, you know what? You're sealing your own fate. You're going to die. You're going to die. I have to pop the bubbles, Lorna. My farts smell like pizza. Why? What do you mean pop the bubbles? I don't understand what that means. World population figures are false. There's only 3.5 billion people on Earth, not 9 billion. Well, you can believe it because population's been dropping. Been dropping. All the countries, the population is down. Council homes over here were not really started until after the first war. They all rolled out as homes for heroes. And then who did the homes go to? And why should they build homes? You know, and why would now they're being kicked out of their homes? They were once homes for heroes, and now they're social housing. They're social housing. We used to have mechanical car washes. Now we have boat migrants in Sainsbury's washing cars. We've all gone backwards. And then my son can't get, my son's, whatever, I'm not going to say, but it's hard to get a job. It's hard to get a job. That's what happens when you let masses of people into the country who hate us too. That's the other question. Okay, but yeah, we used to have, yeah. Dullahan says governments deliberately keep housing low to inflate property prices. It's a scam. Not housing low. That's a lie too. It's not that housing is low. There is housing, but they keep on bringing people in to keep housing high, to make housing go up and go up, because it's like a bone they throw to the rich people. And who are the rich people? All the leftists are all rich people. They're all rich people. You know, and they shouldn't. And where are they building housing? On green fields, in parks in Southwark. They built on parks in Southwark. They built on Peckham Green. Google Peckham Green and see if you can find out that they built it on an actual park that they used to mow, and the park had rubbish bins. It was a park. Get all these foreigners gone. The roads will be less jammed, and the NHS would free up homes, will be affordable for the next generation. We could work on our punctuation, Donna, but you're right about that. Look what's happening in America. Wages are going up. Why are they going up? Because the people who are there illegally have been forced to either go back home or don't risk leaving the house, afraid of being forced to go back home. Mortgages are a scam. It's a Ponzi. That's the issue. They need to be banned. Well, how are they a scam? I have a mortgage. How are they a scam? Try Tesco for a mechanical car wash. It's great, says Kate Gwynn. Yeah, 41 viewers, great. We have literally relied on cheap labor and not invested in technology. They can't deny the productivity issue in cheap labor, in someone else being poor, in someone else being a slave, in someone else making no money so we can get our Just Eats or whatever it's called sent to us. And the left are doing this, and the left are going, "Oh, we're good people." You're slavers. Are you slavers? Do you think having people who can't get a job working illegally, do you think that's justifiable? We need fewer people. Do you see it costs £150 a day in the NHS to pay £150,000 a day in the NHS to pay for translators? Yes, 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 says Lorna Hutchison. Yes, mothers being with their kids would be a blessing. So get where Lewis is. So get where that's what I'm saying, Leanne. Mothers should be with their kids. People should not be allowed to be divorced. People should be married, and men should have jobs that pay enough money. National service is good for society in so many ways. I don't know. Maybe. A society. We need a society. We have too many different societies. Okay. Steve Cuff says there are many variations, Leanne. Fathers that do nothing for their kids and have no responsibility. Then there are mothers that stop the father from seeing their kids. Um, yeah, of course they do nothing because they're basically can't make enough money, and the women can make enough money from the state. So what do they need a dad for? Lewis, did you make it across the bridge at the march yesterday? Or were you blocked off too? At the bridge, I went home. So I was there for about 2 hours. I was there enough to be in the video. I didn't go see the thing. I felt a bit claustrophobic. I didn't like being recognized by people. Okay. Ruben, no, national service is awful for some. It shouldn't be compulsory. I agree, but it depends on the corrupt government, says Steve Cup. Lewis. So, yeah. Red Knight is here. Over 1 million people to unite the Kingdom rally. 9 arrests. Well done, patriots. That's what this country's about. It's about patriotism. It's about fighting for this country. It's for fighting. We're fighting for this country. Is it not? All right. I'm going to take a 2-minute break. Can I take a 2-minute break? And we'll come back and talk about something else. Maybe I won't. I'll just have a glass of water. I'll just have a glass of water. We're up to 40 people watching. Let's see what's going. Okay. There you go. Anyway, so we're on stream 96. We're on stream 96. Okay. Do we believe in national service? Do we believe in national service? Do we have any children to be in national service? When the war breaks out, who's going to fight? Joodles. Joodles is here. Hello, Joodles. Good to see you. Have you missed much? You missed the beginning part of the show. We had to cut the show off and start again. No, not compulsory. Choice of community service. Also, a job apprenticeship college. No, we need a national service where everyone feels that they're part of this country, I would say. My financial advisor was brilliant. He sold me a plan. They were talking about mortgages. He sold me a plan. He said if I keep up the payments and don't miss any, he could retire, Lud says. That's a funny joke. That's a good joke. Laura says it used to be compulsory. So we could talk about mortgages and national service because that's interesting to me. Mortgages allow us to own a home, but they allow us to own a home only because homes are so expensive. Why are homes so expensive? Because we've had a massive immigration problem. Massive. And so if you don't have immigration, then your homes could be cheap. The scam is that if you borrow £350,000 over 35 years, you'll end up paying back £650,000. It doesn't cost the bank £300,000 to lend you that money. that three that 300,000K is better off in my pocket, so I can spend it. Um, yeah, maybe, but then again, you won't have your house will not be worth. You'll spend it, and the house won't be worth anything, and you can't give your house to your kids. So, is that a good thing, Daz? I'm not so sure. But make the army more appealing to join. We need something that unites the country. Mass immigration obviously does not unite the country. Leanne, 100% of the kids need their daddies. Me and my ex literally work together and put them first always. We are lucky to be able to do that. I know of horror stories on both sides. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, basically, fathers aren't needed. They're not needed. And the state is so gung ho on separation. Man City, did Man City beat Man United today? Remember that? They're the nosy neighbor. The home is expensive because of the mortgage. No, no, my parents no. If they're more expensive, no, because the mortgage stays the same. I don't know how my mortgage was so low for such a long period of time. And because of my mortgage, I spend less money on my mortgage than I would if I had to if I rented a flat, like half as much. So you can't really say that. We can talk about Man United. Judels is a Man United supporter. It's what happened yesterday. Did Crystal Palace win? I think Crystal Palace won. Did Crystal Palace win? We don't know. Maybe I should read the results of the sports. Should I do that and make this like a news program? Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Let's read this. Let's read the match results. Burnley is in the Premier League. That is such good news, but they have lost to Liverpool. Manchester City beat United 3-0. That's a bit sad. We want Man United to do well, and Man City is a whatchamacallit? Is a is a is a money laundering operation. Perhaps is that? Am I allowed to say that? Let's see what happened yesterday. You ready for what happened yesterday? Arsenal versus Forest. Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest nil. A lot of people liked Arsenal. Met two beautiful people who are Arsenal supporters. And they didn't go to the match because they wanted to go to the demonstration. Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1, which is good news for Palace. Palace played Sunderland and they drew. So that's not good. That's not great, but it's still a point. It's still a point. Mortgages are an effing nightmare. I used to have to. I I have just had to gift my house to my brother to be able to stay in it. Okay. Well, there you go. No worries. Charlton still haven't beaten Millwall in 30 years. Yeah, well, yeah. Without the mortgage, house prices would be much lower, around about £50,000. You still wouldn't rent. You could just own the entire property and buy it with cash. No, it would not be £50. They're letting in 1 million people a year. They're letting in 1 million people a year. And how many hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million, get divorced every year? And that's one of the big problems with divorce. It causes housing inflation. Agree, we are not together, but we still try and act as a family, if that makes sense. Well, how long have you been divorced, Leanne? Because that's the big question. Wait till you're like me and you've been divorced a long time. They don't want to see you anymore. They don't want to pretend that they even like you. They probably don't even like you anymore. And that's when the problems start. This generation won't want to fight for this country. They don't even like this country, says Ludd. Youngsters see themselves as European and not British because it's more fashionable, and they're also globalists. It's not that it's more fashionable because that's the global thing. Ludd, excellent, excellent point. Excellent point. Who was at the rally? The average age of the people at the rally was maybe 50 years old. Average, remember, average. City also missed at least three complete sitters, so it could have been much worse. East Fife, 4. Fofar, 1. Yeah, I'm in East Fife. That's my team, East Fife, because my ex-wife lived in East Fife. I think it's East Fife. I don't think it was West Fife. What is East Fife? East Fife would be um, would be close to St. Andrews, I assume. It's a Ponzi because if you sell the property, it requires someone else to get a mortgage to buy it, meaning the bank makes even more interest on the same property a second time. That might be true, but the big issues are they're letting people into the country, inflation. Joe says, Lewis, I'm only doing this because it annoys you. Okay. Ludd says, yes, it makes me question why they're trying to save the country when the next generation can't decide whether they're a man, a woman, or a can of Diet Pepsi. Yeah, yeah. They're not all like that, though. And sometimes, and maybe they'll stop being like that. Maybe they'll wake up and they'll realize, why did I do that to myself? Why? Yeah, that's a good question, Steve Cuff. You know what the funny thing is? Yeah, I read something funny about that. It's like about how I forgot what it was. Um, Leanne, my parents did the same for me and my two brothers. They were different times back then. People didn't want to get divorced. I think that divorce should be illegal. I definitely believe that. Shall I keep going with my mortgage arguments? Yeah, keep going. Keep going with the mortgage arguments. I don't think prices would be low. I think a lot of people could. They enabled people with mortgages to buy houses. Does that make it an entirely good thing? I'm not sure. What does Judel say about mortgages? I'd like to hear what she says. She always has a definitive opinion. Billy Connolly said he thought the team was called Queen of the South. Nil. Queen of the South nil for years. Nil. That's very funny. That was their score. Queen of the South. Um, is a great. It's not a good way to parent. We have to learn to love each other. And the way you love each other, you look at them and you try to recreate the feeling you had when you first met them. You say, this person has given me a child. I love them. That's the most important thing. It's not about me, though, Leanne says. It's about my kids. We have to look out for each other. My responsibility is to my kids. If I'm not willing to give my life and soul for them, I shouldn't have had them. That's lovely, Leanne. I don't believe it, though. I don't believe it. I don't believe women think like that. I don't think people try hard enough to stay together. I think they need to be forced by law to stay together, or religion, or finances. They should be forced to stay together and be happy with each other. Lud says exactly, Steve, says Lud. My latest girlfriend identifies as a wheelie bin. Yeah. I can't remember to take her out on a Wednesday or a Thursday. That's another joke. We got a lot of jokesters here. If there was no divorce, what about abusive relationships? There'd be less abusive relationships, and there would be people would pay attention to them. Right now, people are just saying they're abuse. I'm not going to go in this direction. I'm not going to go in this direction. All I know is this: that I felt that I was in an abusive relationship and I was being abused. Okay, it's always like, oh, the woman's being abused, but there wouldn't be in countries. It's like saying men are bad. They've demonized men in this country, and they've demonized children in this country. It's just demonization. Leanne, years ago, your marriage was more important to and subsequently the kids were fine years ago. That's what I believe. Marriage was important. Marriage was important. You can't be divorced. I don't know. On new builds, I agree with the mortgage as the cost of the new build needs to be covered and the money trickles down. But on second-hand builds, there's no trickle down. But the second-hand build, there's no trickle down as it was built Well, that's not the definition of trickle down, the trickle down theory. But yeah, well, somebody paid money to buy that house, whether it was a brand new house or whether it was whether it, it was a house that's been built for 100 years. Somebody paid money for it, and they want to get paid back. Okay, Lud. We're not. We're staying with our wives. The rich make their money from the debt of the poor. Well, that's the belief system. But the debt is what's created the unbelievable wealth that we live in now. I believe that. I believe in debt. Dullin says my dad was pretty abusive, broken nose stuff. If he didn't go, we'd have to deal with him as adults. But you have a point. Um, yeah, if someone breaks somebody's nose, then the police should be involved. You know, but also when was this? When was this, Dullahan? When was this? What year was this? And did that ever happen? I left for the sake of my kids as well as my self worth. I ended up I ended up not myself and was not a nice person anymore. Now I'm back being me. Well, that's lovely. That's lovely. I mean, I don't believe any of it. I don't believe anything that anybody says about divorce. I mean, I studied it for a long time, and yeah, they're bad. There are lots of bad things. Families are not overrated. They're not. And this country has less and less families. I don't mean it to be critical towards you, Leanne, but the family dynamic has changed in this generation for the worse. I agree with Kate. It's changed. It's changed. Men have to be nice. They have no power whatsoever. Otherwise, they don't get to see their kids. They become total wimps, and the children see that their kids are wimps. And the next thing you know, because they're wimps, they don't join the military. Because they're wimps, they they don't they have no power at home, and they have no control over kids. And they live in a feminized society. Feminizing is bad. Look at this. Look who's here. Aristotle the seventh. All right, let me just go. I'm going to read Aristotle the seventh. Maybe take us juggling, Lewis. I understand that it's very good at relieving stress levels in those determined to shun the heavenly joy of the Mars bars for the rest of their days. So I should juggle instead of eating. I can think of nothing worse than practicing juggling. I think that's absolutely the most horrible thing. But thank you, Aristotle the seventh. Good to see you again. I didn't mean to be critical. Okay. Steve Cuff says, Leanne, stress and pressure and frustration changes us. Once we have space to breathe, we can weigh things up, learn, and be the right person. Laugh out loud. That's what Steve Cuff says. All right. Yours were overrated. Yeah. I'm going to tell you what's a bad marriage. One with no dad. Well, with no me. We can ask my son what he thinks. The inflation of property prices has distorted the whole economy. Having to have two incomes to afford rent and a mortgage is bad for society and families. Or maybe they're not paying people enough money to buy a house, or maybe people are so demanding of stuff for the house. I built multiple houses with banks' money. I paid for it in stages, foundations first, course of bricks, etc. The roof. Okay, I think that's a joke. Leanne says, yes, there are good points towards towards both sides. I can't disagree with you. Okay. What is there not to disagree with? I am this is what I am. I'm right wing. I believe in families. I believe in families having kids. Right now, nobody's having kids. Leanne has 3 kids. That's amazing. That is amazing. We need more kids because somebody has to fight for this country. But this country is in the deficit. France is in the deficit. Germany's in the deficit. Northern Ireland, yeah, and they're in the deficit. Everybody is not having kids, and we need kids. So there you go. So it's really good to see. So has anybody joined? Has anybody subscribed? Have any of you? We are producing less children. People can afford to have children. People can afford to have children. Yes, they can, says Keith. They can afford it. They just don't have to go on 15 trips to Torremolinos or wherever. It seems the stronger it seems to get stronger generation by generation. What gets stronger? Families or having kids? What we don't necessarily need incomes to go up. We can instead reduce people's expenses, get rid of the mortgage. If more people have their own homes, they're more likely to have kids. That's exactly true. I've said that before. Is that they're building all these ticky-tacky homes with small little rooms that aren't big enough for people to have kids. And they think, oh, so somebody has a new kid, and they're giving single mothers homes. They got one bedroom, and next thing you know, they don't have any more. We don't necessarily, yeah, that's so I agree with that, Taz, Lorna. I don't think anyone could afford children. You just seem to manage. Yes, they can. They could afford to manage. I mean, they could afford to manage if we only. I'm not going to say what I'm going to say because Lucy got really mad at me, and Jude will do too. Modern families want to put their parents into old people's homes, where where other cultures look after their elderly. Yeah, and then they kill them when they're in the homes. Look at all the people who died of COVID in the homes. They die of loneliness in the homes when they should maybe be taken care of. And there aren't enough homes for the old people. So they got to build more homes. They got to build homes on parks and on green spaces. Okay, there's no join option available. Okay, it's only taken about third. I appreciate that, Ruben. I'm giving Ruben thanks. Everybody thank Ruben because it only took me about 30 minutes. 30 minutes before Ruben came in and told us that. It took Ruben. I asked 30 minutes ago. No subscribe or join option available. Why is there no subscribe? Can you check to see if there's a subscribe or join option? Producer. Producer. Producer.
What?
Would you please check and see if there's a join or subscribe option available? My mom and dad had 6 children, only three, and only had 6 children. Only 3 of us had children. That's 50%. That's bad. And how many kids did you have?
It's not.
But there is none. There's no join or subscribe.
Because it's not monetized. You need to turn it on.
But there should be a subscribe thing anyway. Should there not be a subscribe thing?
I'm already subscribed to you.
Okay. Well, when I get off of this, the producer has an iPhone. Join. Do you have an i? No, he's looking on the computer, Doodles. No subscribe. A Stormer's got into your system. But shouldn't there be a have you subscribed in the past? Steve Cuff. Love that the producer insists on being addressed professionally now. He's really grown into his role.
I want to not be a role. I want you to leave me alone, basically.
Well,
Why do you think I've been spending all my time away?
Columbus does. Sorry.
Just stop talking to me. Stop it. Stop.
Yeah. I'm looking after my 90-year-old mother. We'll never put her in a home, says Ruben. Yeah. Don, exactly. My mom is told my nursing home. What do you call them? Care homes? Or are they nursing homes? I see subscribe, unsubscribe button. If you're subscribed, it's just the bell icon. Okay. Are you not subscribed? Well, you don't want to know about this. All right. Donna, Daz says, and also include those people that had one and paid it off. Mortgages or financial cancer. Sorry for the crude word, but it's true. Cancer isn't a crude word. It's a good word to use. We need to demystify cancer. Lewis Grok says it's likely a glitch. You need to log out of your Google account and back in. Obviously, don't do it right now. Okay, that's all. It's only been 2 hours. Only been 2 hours, and it's taken 2 hours. Lucy is subscribed, so you're there. Well, I totally appreciate that, Lucy. It's a glitch. So I should unsubscribe to Google. So I've got to unsubscribe. That's really, thank you very much, Joodles. Thank you very much. I'll unalive myself if I get to the age where I need to be in a home. Better cared for in prison. Yes, yes, yes. Better cared for in prison. At least you might get a female. Yes, I would say that's possible. I'm not saying it's possible, but I know I've seen people in care homes. It's really true. Yeah, bad. Most people in care homes are there because their health status is not manageable at home by family. These aren't little old people sitting there knitting hats. They are complex care cases with serious issues. Yes, Kate, that can be true, but how do we avoid that? We avoid that by being healthy. By being healthy. Let's be healthy. Let's be healthy. Ruben says thank you. Due to carbs. Yes, it's due to carbs. It's because they've got diabetes and they've lost their feet, because they've got cancer, because they had a high carb diet. It's all carbs. That's true, Kate. I worked in one, loved it, but it wasn't enough to pay the bills. And that's a major issue with that industry. Exactly. Because who wants to work there? Mostly foreigners. And I guarantee you, if we didn't have foreigners, we'd pay people a living wage. So I agree with you, Joodles. I agree. Simon Evans said hello and hopes the podcast is going well. Thank you, Paul Manning. I love to hear from Simon. That's brilliant. It's nice to know. It's really nice to know. Nothing worse than having a foreigner look after you when you're old. Um, they're not. No, I mean they're all right. They're all right. I mean they're not bad. Depends what country they're from. People live too long in a way that they never did before. Yes. Yeah. 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 They live too long. And this show has been a good show. It has not been, it's been one of the worst shows that we've done. But I'm going to say it's been one of the best. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank you for listening. We've talked about a lot of different stuff. I'm always driving the doctor to care homes for people with unmanaged blood sugar. Yes, the food in those places is full of carbs. Yes. Yeah. Unmanaged. Well, what is diabetes but unmanaged blood sugar? They eat too many carbs these days. Yes, they do. Because it's cheap. It's cheap, and they've been told that beef is bad. There you go. Thank you, Warmellian. Thank you, Steve Cuff. Thank you, Vatanai. Thank you, Kate Gwynn. Thank you, Leanne. You've been a great supporter of the channel. Thank you, Joodles. Thank you, Russ. Thank you, Daz. Good for being here. Thank you, Dullahan, for the information. Thank you. Thank you, Donna Aylesbury. And thank you, these are just good. Lud, great people. Lud, you were amazing. Started off bad. I got yelled at. It's not good being yelled at all show for just talking to my own son in my own flat. You know, well, what should I tell him? I should tell him if he's not happy being here, if he's not happy with his father doing this show for 2 hours a day. I'm never here. I am never here. Thank you. Thank you, Lorna and Joe and Keith and Daz. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, every Ruben and John Van Dam and Aristotle. Was that Aristotle 7? Thank you very much. Thank you, Susan Stevenson and Maltese Phil. Thank you, Lorna, again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you. I'm just going to go back and Teaser Pop, she was there in the beginning. Pupus Maximus, Girl from Mars, Derry K. Very good. Very, very good. Thank you, Daddy Bannister, all the way in Laos. Paul Manning. Good, 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 solid people. 1974 UK London. Who was that? I don't know who that was. But that was good. So we're going to end the show. We're going to end the show. And you could talk to each other for 2 minutes and then go over. Okay, let me get that. Let me get the Discord. Let me get the Discord. I'm gonna get the Discord and I'll put it in so you could do this. Okay, don't worry. Discord. I go over here. I go here. We go over here. Okay, we go here. Okay, we go here. I can't figure out how to do this thing. This is like I can't find it. I can't find it. You can somebody get a link to this? Or maybe you can't do it. I'm gonna have to look for the link. I can't find the link. I can't find the link. And it goes here. Okay, I pressed that thing there. Okay. Okay, this is the Discord. The Discord is going to be up. Number one, I'm going to put the a new Discord link in the bottom here, in underneath the video. So you have it. Okay. So that goes there. Thank you, Shanks. He's not here tonight, but he's been really helpful with the live streams. Okay. Anything else? Can can you throw the dog a bone? Me being the dog. Can you throw the dog a bone? The bone is, can you go to Patreon? Can you go to PayPal? I don't know if this thing is working. It says it might be glitch. Oh my god, it's only valid for 10 minutes. By some context. Sometimes focus zoom my son. Um yeah, there you go. So why am I putting it down there? Thank you very much, Joodles. Joodles is good. She's got a lot of information. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Can you like the stream? Can you like the stream? Just a thumbs up. Can you give me a thumbs up? Okay. Thank you, Lud, for what you're saying. I really appreciate it. Lud says, be proud. Be proud, producer, that your dad is working. He is still. What?
What are you doing?
I'm just reading what somebody wrote.
You're not working.
You don't think this is work? You don't. Why don't you think this is work? Yeah, maybe it's not work. He doesn't think this is work. He thinks this is just me messing around. Messing around. Anyway, thank you, Russ. Big round of applause for Russ. Okay? Okay. He doesn't think I'm working. He's very grumpy today. Okay, so I'm saying goodbye. I'm ending the stream. Talk amongst yourselves. Best show ever.
Is that it over?
Yeah, why? You want to call somebody? What do you want to do?
Huh?
Yeah.
No, I'm getting a phone call from train line in like an hour, where I'm meant to be.
What? Because what happened with the thing?
Yeah. I have three complaints.
Hold on.
What? You didn't turn it off.
I end stream, but I didn't turn the microphone off.
What do you mean? So is it off or not?
Can you still hear me? Can
you shut the fuck up?
I'm just. People can hear you be this way. It's really unacceptable.